Mr. Wayne, I'm not sure if you know how that you can pop around. What we do is put defendants in your waiting room and then you can go and pull them into your meeting room. I don't know if you've done that yet.
Yes, I did that.
Okay.
I did it last week. I think
Okay.
you were telling me it's pretty, not last week, excuse me, last month. It's pretty intuitive.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
This is Royster.
It's not, it's in there.
Yeah.
at zero balance, I'm still finding it open, right? Still, I have proof, it's not there yet.
Yeah.
All right.
Good morning, Carol.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I am here.
Morning, Josh.
Morning. All right. I have plea offers for Mr. Greco, but I don't have a docket for today. Unless I'm missing it. Hey, Angela, do you have cases up today too?
No, I'm Mr. Greco today.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was like, wait a minute. I think, Your Honor, I might be in the wrong place.
No, I'm just here to be Greco.
Day for a day.
That's it.
Oh, what just happened? Weird.
Even though you ain't making no fucking money, is why I'm.
Hey, mute.
Hmm? My apologies.
No worries. Good morning, Mr. Jadala.
Good morning, Judge.
How are you, sir?
I am fine, thank you. How are you, Judge?
I am wonderful. It's always good to see you.
Pleasure is mine, Judge.
There are people in the MIDC waiting room.
Actually, Judge, I'm here on a retained case that should be logging in soon. But I have a single pretrial a little later.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Jadala. I was directing that to Mr. Hadley.
Oh, I'm sorry. Absolutely.
No, no, no. Mr. Wayne, as a procedural matter, the court is in receipt of 23BL000677, the plea wherein Mr. Zayed, on behalf of his client, Juan Jimenez, has agreed to have the civil infraction 105 over dismissed and has pled responsible to double parking on behalf of his client, will pay a fine of $250 within the next 5 days. I'll send that file downstairs to the clerks to be processed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you for taking care of that matter.
No problem whatsoever.
Ms. Berger, we're just waiting on your attorney, it appears. You're not scheduled until 8:30, so it's still a few minutes.
Okay.
What's wrong, Mr. Hadley?
I don't see any of these cases that I've on the docket. These are Belleville cases.
Are you talking about Banks and Ali?
Yeah, thanks.
Yes, sir. Banks is Belleville.
I don't have any plea offers, or I don't see it on the docket, so I don't even have a Kevin. Oh, here we go.
Mr. Wayne
Alright.
puts his offers in the file. I'm not sure how he communicates them to you, but for Mr. Banks, it's 12 months deferred, straight up to the violation. And then for Mr. Ali, I do not see an offer in the file.
Is that? Mr. Wayne, can you hear me? Can I meet with you in a breakout room?
Yes, absolutely.
And we're all set on Kevin Banks, Your Honor, whenever you're ready for us.
This is 23BL00342OM, City of Belleville versus Kevin Robert Banks Jr. Your appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Matthew Wayne on behalf of the city of Belleville.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Adler, on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Kevin Banks. Mr. Banks, please state your name for the record.
Kevin Banks.
Thank you. Your
Thank
Honor,
you. Today is the day.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't hear, I got a little feedback going.
No. Mr. Hadley, please proceed.
No, Your Honor, please go ahead.
No, you.
What I was saying, Your Honor, sorry, before I jumped in on top of you there, we're gonna be asking for an adjournment on this one. I think that there is a parallel case with Judge Oakley that I want to make sure doesn't impact what the pending case we have here today is. Also related to a parental responsibility, but it's with a different individual, a different child.
Thank you. As a procedural matter, Mr. Hadley, the case was scheduled as a show cause pretrial, but I don't show Mr. Banks having been arraigned.
We will waive the formal reading, Your Honor, and enter a plea of not guilty at this time.
Thank you. Mr. Banks, state your name for me, please, sir.
Kevin Banks.
Thank you. And Mr. Hadley, we'll set the bond at 1,000 personal. Mr. Banks, you do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by the court until this case is resolved in its entirety. Your adjourned pretrial date will be
September 7th at 8:40. No,
September
I'm sorry. No,
7th.
I'm sorry, Judge, it's a Belleville case. I apologize. It's September 21st at 8:40.
September 21st at 8:40 a.m. That's back on Zoom, back here in courtroom number 1, Mr. Banks, and notice will be mailed to you at the address that you verified with the court staff this morning.
Okay.
All right, that was going to be, what was the date? I heard it moved, September 21st?
Yeah,
September
8:40.
21st at 8:40. And there, Mr. Haley,
Is
there's
that
a
gonna
note
be with
on the
Judge
file
Oakley
about
or with
Judge.
you? Is that
No,
with you, Your Honor?
the case is back here with me. There's a note on the file that there's a note on the file that the other file's on hold until after this hearing. And so I'll send the file to Heather. You indicated that the files might be connected in some way. So I'll
They
give
are.
it to Heather. We'll make sure. Okay.
And I'm with Judge Oakley on the 21st is what, it was my other note. I'm his house counsel on that date. Let's leave it on that date with you. Maybe I can get these both resolved the same day if I'm in both spots.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Wayne?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Hadley?
Not at all, Your Honor. Thanks for working with us on that one.
No worries. Mr. Banks, you're free to go. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Your Honor. You as well.
Thank you. Mr. Warbling, have you spoken to the prosecutor? You're muted, sir.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, Your Honor. How are
No
you?
worries. I asked, had you, good, how are you?
I'm well, thanks, Your Honor.
I asked if you'd spoken to Mr. Wayne regarding
No,
the
I have not
pre-hearing
yet.
on your client. He'll take you into his meeting room. Please go there.
Yes, no problem. I'll wait for that prompt. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, have you seen a Derek Strong log in? He's told me he's logged
I
in.
I have not, unless he's logged in with Carol with name by his device and not by his name.
Okay.
If that's not him, Mr. Jadal, you might want to give him a call. Maybe he's logged on to the wrong room.
I will. Judge, he says he checked in and he spoke with the clerk, and he told them that we had conversated yesterday. I just don't see him.
She just renamed him.
Okay. I'm on my tablet.
He's in the MIDC. I'm sorry.
I'm on my tablet and I can't control the breakout room.
Oh, okay. Do you want to talk to him?
Yes, just briefly, just want to talk to him and confirm, and then I need to talk to Mr. Royster. It looked like he logged on too.
He just logged on. Mary Ann will get you with Mr. Strong, get him out of the MIDC waiting room into a room with you.
Sounds good.
You're all set.
Thank you.
24th.
I don't know what.
I'm not sure who that was that just came out of the breakout rooms speaking out. We don't do that in here. Mr. Wayne, are you ready with Mr. Warbling?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is 23BL00681OI, City of Belleville versus Hussein. May I have your appearances, please?
Yes. Good morning again, Your Honor. Matthew Wayne on behalf of the City of Belleville.
And good morning, Your Honor. Ben Warbling, P64889, on behalf of Mr. Hossein.
Thank you. Today was scheduled for pre-hearing. Mr. Wayne, how are we proceeding?
Having had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Warbling, the city has agreed to amend the charge from speeding 1 to 5 to double parking with a $250 fine.
And that's correct, Your Honor. I have authority to accept that on behalf of my client.
Thank you. The court will accept that plea to responsible on the amended ticket of double parking, fine of $250. Mr. Warbling, does your client need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
Your Honor, could we have 14 days if that was okay, Judge?
14 days to pay. Anything else, Mr. Warbling?
Nothing further, Judge. Thanks to you and your staff. Thank you,
I'll send
Mr.
the-
Wayne.
You're welcome. Ms. Schusel, do you need to speak to Mr. Wayne?
Yes, very briefly, Your Honor.
We'll get you into a breakout. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is 23RP037330T. City of Romulus versus Derek Strong. Your appearances, please.
Your Honor, Sam Richardala, here on behalf of Mr. Strong.
Mr. Strong,
Yes,
state your name for me, please, sir.
Derek Strong.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for the arraignment and pretrial. Mr. Jadala, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, for purposes of arraignment, we'd waive formal readings and stand mute. For purposes of pretrial, my client would like to avail himself to the plea whereby the failure to stop and report is going to be reduced to a failure to report, Your Honor. Understanding his rights that he's waiving today, my client wishes to avail himself to that plea.
Thank you. Mr. Strong, raise your right hand for me, please, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Mr. Strong, you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Jadala. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes, I do.
And after having that conversation, sir, is your understanding and agreement that you'll be tendering a plea of guilty to the reduced count of failure to report an accident?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind?
Yes, I do understand, Your Honor.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
I understand, Your Honor.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Strong, is it true that on July 11, 2023, in the city of Romulus, you failed to report an accident?
Yes, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Ms. Manorino?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Jadala?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Mr. Strong, the court accepts your plea of guilty to failure to report an accident. Mr. Jadala, any comment before fines and costs are imposed in this matter?
Your Honor, we just asked for minimal fine costs.
Mr. Strong, the court will impose a fine of $100. There's cost of $100. There's $75 mandatory crime victim fee. There's $50 mandatory state cost and $20 fund fee. That's $345, sir. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
5 days to pay. Mr. Strong, you can pay in person. You can pay it online. Anything else, Mr.
I can pay.
Gisella?
Nothing further. Yes, Mr. Strong, you can pay online. You can go onto the 34th District Court website and pay online.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Strong. You're free to go. You have a good day.
Thank you.
These are two, 3BL 00618, 645, and 601. These are all City of Belleville versus Ali Ali. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Matthew Wayne on behalf of the City of Belleville.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley appearing on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Ali Ali. Sir, please state your name for the judge.
Ali Ali.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Today is the day.
Please go ahead.
No, Mr. Hadley, I'll learn. Go ahead.
I think I was just trying to move fast today. I know I'm a little behind on there. Your Honor, we're just going to be asking for an adjourned date. We'll waive the formal reading of discovery, formal reading of the arraignment, enter a plea of not guilty, and ask for an adjournment to obtain discovery.
Your Honor, if I may, Mr. Hadley, would you want to meet with me in a breakout room with your client?
We can.
Okay.
Mr. Ali, if you see a leave that, join them.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hadley, I was going to ask before he left, and he already spoken to Ms. Schusel.
Have not.
Okay, Mr. Wayne
I spoke with Ms. Schlussel just a little bit ago.
Schlussel, thank you. Oh, before you go in, I was going to call that case so Ms. Burkett can go on about her business. Yeah, what's wrong?
That's fine. I can appear and then I can meet Mr. Hadley.
We've got 5 cases coming up on the 21st. I got her on show cause today. She sounds like a perfect one for me.
She is. That's the one whose name I said yesterday.
So what I'm thinking is when I get her, supposedly they're transporting her. She's custody of some. So when I get her, I'm just gonna have a set of review for the 21st with the idea that whatever you do, we'll just take on it. Because I sentenced her already. It's just a show cause. She hasn't done anything, including staying in trouble.
She's in custody because she wouldn't give her an address. Because I was going to reduce her to personal so that she could get out. And she wouldn't because we have her scheduled on Monday to come in for the victim to come in because this is just, yeah, she's exactly who I was thinking of.
The same victim.
Exactly. Same issue. Same issue. And so I was trying to get it all together, but if you.
Well, I've already sentenced her. So all I want to do is adjourn. I'm just gonna say, I'm not gonna do anything with my show cause until we see what Judge Martin does on the 21st with the idea I probably just close it.
Thank you. Yeah, she's exactly who I had in mind, and I said her name yesterday. Thank you. My apologies. This is 23BL 00356A, City of Belleville versus Olivia Berga. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Matthew Wayne on behalf of the City of Belleville.
Good morning, Your Honor. Deborah Schlussel on behalf of the defendant, Ms. Olivia Berga. Ms. Berga, please state your name for the court.
Olivia Berga.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for the arraignment and pretrial in this matter. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, I have pretried this case with the prosecution, and if it pleases the court, we have reached a plea agreement.
Yes, ma'am.
The terms of the deal are that my client would plead guilty to an added charge of operating while visibly impaired, and the current charge of operating while intoxicated with a BAC of 0.17 or higher will be dismissed.
Thank you. As a procedural matter, because there had not previously been an arraignment, Ma'am, are you having your client stand mute to the original charges and entering this plea instead?
Yes, for the purposes of arraignment, stand mute, yes.
Thank you. Ms. Berger, raise your right hand for me, please, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Ma'am, you've had the opportunity to discuss this case with your attorney. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes.
And after having that conversation, is your understanding this morning that you'll be tendering a plea of guilty to the added count of operating while visibly impaired and the original charge of operating with a high blood alcohol content would be dismissed?
Yes, I do.
And you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind?
Yes.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor?
Yeah.
And ma'am, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No.
You're pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Ma'am, is it true that on April the 16th, 2023, in the city of Belleville, you operated a motor vehicle while you were visibly impaired by some intoxicant?
Yes.
And ma'am, it's your understanding and agreement that the citation issued to you shows that you had a blood alcohol content on that date at that time of 0.18?
Yes.
Satisfied, Mr. Wayne?
Yes, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Ms. Trussell?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, the court accepts your plea of guilty to operating while visibly impaired and will dismiss the original charge of high BAC. As this court did not previously set bond, going forward, your bond will be $5,000 personal. You don't need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to participate in these proceedings until the case is resolved in its entirety. Because of your admission, ma'am, that you had a blood alcohol content of 0.18 at the time of the offense, the court will order that you not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages until this matter is resolved and until further order of the court. Because this is a drinking and driving offense, the next step in this process is that you'll be referred to the probation department. They will interview you, develop a sentence recommendation, and schedule you to come back for sentencing. They will be contacting you by email and by phone. Please respond to their efforts at contact so that they may schedule the interview, develop that recommendation, and get you back before this court for sentencing. Anything else, Mr. Wayne?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else on behalf of Ms. Berger?
Your Honor, I was just, oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Berger, what were you going to say?
No, you're good. Sorry.
All right. Your Honor, I just wanted to ask if we could set the sentencing date so that I don't have any scheduling conflicts.
I don't schedule my, the sentences in this courtroom. The probation officer does. So if he sets a date that's not good for you, just reach out to Mr. Grant and let him know, because it will
Okay.
depend on how soon he's able to see Ms. Berger and she's able to interview and complete the forms.
Your Honor, is it via Zoom or in person?
We're moving to in person. If that's a problem for you, let us know. Let Mr. Grant know when he sends the notice out and we'll schedule according.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're so welcome, ma'am. Have a good day. Ms. Berger, I'll see you at sentencing. Have a good one.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. This is a recall of Ali. The case is that ends in 618.
Your Honor, we're still waiting to meet with Mr. Wayne. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I figured I'd save you the reading of it. I'm still, Mr. Wayne, are you still trying to meet with us in your room?
Yes, and I'm be moving you shortly here.
Good morning, Ms. Medina.
Good morning, Your Honor. I hope everyone is well. I just wanted to provide an update. I am here on Mr. Correo. He has not appeared that I am aware of so far. I have let Stammer know, and he will stand in for me when the case is called. I have to get in the car and drive to Livonia for a hearing.
Well, drive safely, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. I hope you have a blessed day. Yes, I am about to get
You
up from
too.
the comfort of my sofa and drive to the road. Yeah, I will see you, Judge. Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
Bye.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
this is Ali. I'm supposed to be in the other room with the attorney and Mr. Wang, I believe, and I haven't received anything to be able to go into that room with them.
You should have received something, sir.
I don't see it. I apologize, but I don't see anything.
No, no worries. I am able to see that you have been sent something.
Yeah, I have this pop-up. It's a McAfee pop-up, and it's blocking half my screen. I hope it's not under there, and I can't get rid of it. It's one of those re-subscribe to.
It won't let you ignore or X out?
I can't. It's the only way is if I shut down the computer, and I don't want to do that right now. So oh God. Where can I go? I can move this screen around. This page. So let me see if I click on more. Join breakout room. Maybe that's the one. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See if that works. Oh, it's not letting me. Huh. Chat previews. Come on.
Mr. Ali, we're actually in the middle of session. So
I'm
if
sorry,
you
go ahead.
mute yourself. That's okay. Mute yourself while you try to figure out how to move around.
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt. I thought I saw Mr. Royster log on. I'm not sure if he's still on or not.
He is in the MIDC waiting room. I heard you say you're on your tablet, so we will get him moved. Do you need to talk to him?
I do. Yes, Judge.
We'll get you moved and back. If you go back to number 11, we'll get him in there with you.
Perfect.
Thank you. Mr. Shand, are you ready to proceed with Ms. Ponsick?
Yes, we are.
This is 230458OD, City of Romulus versus Courtney Ponsick. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Angela Mannering on behalf of the City of Romulus.
And David Chan on behalf of Courtney Ponsick, who's appearing via Zoom. Courtney, can you please state your name for the record?
Courtney Ponsick.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for the adjourned pretrial. Mr. Shand, how are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, we have a plea agreement. And Angela, do you want to put it on the record or you want me to put it on the record?
I can do it, Your Honor. We're moving to amend the operating while intoxicated charge to impaired. I believe there was also a reckless driving. We would move to dismiss that as well.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Manarino. Ms. Ponsick, would you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. You may put your hand down. You've had the opportunity to discuss this case with Mr. Shand, and you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Correct.
And ma'am, it's your understanding and agreement that you will be tendering a plea this morning of guilty to the added count of operating while impaired and the operating with a BAC of 0.17 or more, and the reckless driving would be dismissed.
Correct.
And ma'am, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Correct.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Correct.
And ma'am, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
Correct.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty.
No.
You're pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty.
Correct.
Ma'am, is it true that on June 16, 2023, in the city of Romulus, you operated a motor vehicle while you were impaired by some intoxicant?
Yes.
And ma'am, it's your understanding and admission that at the time that you encountered police, you had a blood alcohol content of 0.28 or more?
Yes.
Mr. Shand, would you like to inquire further of your client?
Courtney, you were not stopped by the police, correct?
I'm sorry?
There was not a police stop. You were actually involved in an accident.
None of my shit
Yes.
was involved.
It was a multi-car accident. She had already been hit by another driver. The police were already on their way.
And you did take a data master test at the police station?
Yes.
And the results of those tests were a 0.26, 0.28?
Yes.
And you do not dispute those results at all?
Correct.
And do you believe that your ability to operate a motor vehicle was impaired by your blood alcohol content?
Yes.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Satisfied, Ms. Manarino?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. The court will accept your plea of guilty to operating while impaired and dismiss the original charges in this matter. Because this is a drinking and driving offense, the next step in these proceedings that you'll be referred to the probation department. They will interview you and develop a sentence recommendation and schedule you to come back to this courtroom for sentencing. They will be reaching out to you by email and by phone. Please respond to their emails and their phone calls so that we may conduct that interview and proceed in this matter. Anything else, Ms. Manarino?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else, Mr. Shand?
No, Your Honor. Defense is satisfied. Thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am, I will see you at your sentencing. Please have a wonderful day. Good luck to you.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you.
Angela, great to see you.
You too.
This is 23RP021420M, City of Romulus versus Royster. Your appearances, please.
Good morning. Angela Manarino on behalf of the city of Romulus.
And Your Honor, respectfully, Samuel Jadala, 62186, appearing on behalf of Mr. Royster, Your Honor.
Mr. Royster, state your name for me, please, sir. Mr. Royster?
My signal is bad. I can't really hear.
State your name for me, please.
Oh, Randall Royster.
Thank you. Mr. Jadala, how are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, respectfully, I did receive paper discovery. I believe that I've sent Marianne a discovery order for your signature to get digital discovery. I just asked that when the court does sign the discovery order, be forwarded to me so I can ascertain that.
The discovery order has been signed.
Perfect. I will make sure, Your Honor, that it gets to the Romulus PD for digital discovery request.
Anything else other than the adjourned pretrial date, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further, Judge.
That adjourned pretrial date will be
September 7th at 8:40.
September 7th?
September 7th at 8:40 a.m. Mr. Royster, notice will be mailed to you at the address that you verified with court staff this morning. It will be back on Zoom, back with me in courtroom number 1, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else, Ms. Manarino?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Royster, you're free to go, sir. You have a wonderful day.
Can Mr. Jala give me a call when he gets a chance?
Absolutely, I will.
Is that it for
Thank you
you,
so
Mr.
much, sir.
Jadala?
That's it. That should be it, Judge. Yes, Judge.
Oh, no, Norris? Or is that a fluke? Norris at 10:10?
Let me check my calendar. I don't see a Norris, but Judge, I will
Okay.
log back on.
There's 2 files that say MIDC and one that says Jadala, so maybe that's just a holdover from.
I know Teresa said she'll be logging on here in a minute as well. I think if Sammer's unavailable, one of us can meet with her and reach out to him if we need to, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Jadala, have a good day, sir.
No problem. And if you guys need me, just text me and I will log on.
Thanks, Sammer.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Mr. Jadala, are we ready with Mr. Ali?
We are, Your Honor.
This is a recall of those cases that end in 618, 645, and 601. I already have your appearances noted for the file. Mr. Hadley, you've had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Wayne. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we're going to be asking for an adjournment to obtain some discovery in this matter.
That adjourned pretrial, I'm sorry, before we go, Mr. Ali, your bond will be set at 1,000 personal in each of these matters. You do not need to post any money. But what you must do is continue to appear and participate in the proceedings until the case is resolved in its entirety. Discovery has been requested and the adjourned pretrial date will be
September 21st at 8:40.
September 21st at 8:40 a.m. That's back on Zoom, back with me in courtroom number 1. Notice we mailed to you at the address we have on file, Mr. Ali.
Okay.
Anything
Now-
else, Mr. Wayne, in this matter?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Hadley?
Your Honor, what would be the next available or date with Belleville with you? Because I do see that I'm scheduled in a separate court that same day with Judge Oakley.
I am off of Belleville after that date. So if you want to go out further into October, it will be Judge Green.
Let's just stick with that date. I'll come up with a solution. Thank you. September 21st it is.
If something else comes up, Mr. Hadley, you know to reach out to either Heather or Michelle or Marianne.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ali, you're free to go. I'll see you on September 21st, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Duncan, good morning, sir. I'm sorry.
Hello, Judge. How are you?
I'm good. I was going to ask you if your client was with you or logging on separately.
My client is with me. Yes, he's to my right. I was
Okay, give me one moment. I think Mr. Hadley has an earlier scheduled case ready. Good morning, Ms. Patton.
Your Honor, how are you?
I am super. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. This
Your Honor,
is,
you were correct. It was Raymond Adams, Your Honor, that we were set to go on.
that's what I'm calling right now, Mr. Hadley. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is 1-83822-OT. This is City of Belleville versus Raymond Adams. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Matthew Wayne on behalf of the City of Belleville.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley appearing on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Raymond Adams. Mr. Adams, please state your name for the court.
I'm sorry,
speak
Mr.
up a little?
Adams.
My name is correct. It's Raymond Adams.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Today is the day and time set for the arraignment and pretrial. Mr. Hadley, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we'll waive formal reading, and we would like to avail ourselves of the people's plea offer at this time.
Thank you. And the offer I have, Mr. Hadley, is allowing an unauthorized driver.
It is correct, Your Honor. I've advised my client of his rights, and he would like to accept this plea offer and is prepared to move forward with immediate sentencing.
Thank you. Mr. Adams, raise your right hand for me, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. You had the opportunity to meet with Mr. Hadley, and you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
I do.
And after having that conversation, sir, is your understanding and agreement that you will be tendering a plea of guilty to the added count of allowing an unauthorized driver to drive, and the original charge of driving while license suspended would be dismissed?
That's correct.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, I do.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
I understand.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
Yes, I am.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty.
No, not at all.
You're pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty.
Yes.
Mr. Adams, is it true that on September 3rd, 2018, in the city of Belleville, you allowed an unauthorized driver to drive?
Yes.
Satisfied, Mr. Wayne?
Yes, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Hadley?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Adams, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the added count of allowing an unauthorized driver to drive and dismisses the original driving while license suspended. Mr. Hadley has requested an immediate sentence in this matter, and the court is ready to proceed. Anything on behalf of your client, Mr. Hadley?
Your Honor, Mr. Adams accepts responsibility for, what happened back in 2018. Would note this is an older case, and he's been taking active steps to get all these types of matters resolved. And as happy to report, everything's facing the right direction.
Thank you. Mr. Adams, the court will impose a fine of $100, cost of $100, $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state costs, $20 fund fee. There is a $50 bench warrant fee, a $50 late fee. That's $445. You already have a payment plan with the court on some unrelated matters. The court is able to move you into the collections department to have this matter added to your existing payment plan, if that's how you wish to proceed.
Yeah, just run it all together pretty
Thank
much.
you.
Yep.
Absolutely. Anything else in this matter, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Adams, you will see an invitation to go into the breakout room. You'll meet with Maria from this court's collection staff. She'll amend your existing payment plan to include this matter. Have a good
All
day,
right.
sir.
You too.
Thank you. This is 23BL00700OT. This is City of Belleville versus Lee Bakewell. May I have your appearances, please?
Good
Yes,
morning,
Your
Your Honor. Matthew
sorry about
Anderson for the city of Belleville.
Hello, Your Honor. Murray Duncan, appearing on behalf of the defendant Lee Bakewell, who is seated to my right.
State your name for me, please, sir.
Lee Bakewell.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for the arraignment and pretrial. Mr. Duncan, how are we proceeding?
As far as arraignment, Judge, my client would waive the reading and he stands mute. And as far as the pretrial, Judge, at this time, my client waives his right to a jury trial. He's asking for a bench trial.
Have you received discovery from Mr. Wayne, Mr. Duncan?
I have discovery through a different case. So yes, I do have it, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Bakewell, the court will set your bond at 1,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear until this matter is resolved in its entirety. Mr. Duncan, are you looking for a Zoom bench trial or an in-person bench trial?
Zoom would be fine, Judge. Thank you.
Zoom bench trial. Marianne, is there space available on that September 21st?
Yes, at 11:30.
Is that a good day for you, Mr. Duncan?
It is, Judge. Thank you.
I will see you on Zoom for your bench trial on September 21st at 11 a.m. Anything
Thank you.
else, Mr. Wayne?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Duncan?
No, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll see you then. Have a good day.
Mr.
Good morning,
Wayne.
Mr. Batard.
Good morning, Judge. Mr. Wayne, can I see you in your breakout room when you get a chance, please?
Yes, we can go there now if the court has no issues with that.
I'll be
I
there.
have no issues with that, Mr. Wayne. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is 23RP03220OM, City of Romulus versus Alexis Greer. May I have your appearances, please?
Oh, yes, I'm here. Hello.
Judge, she came back out on her own. I advised her to go back in and speak with an attorney.
No one had ever came when I was in the breakout room, and I didn't want to miss my name being called or anything. I was
Ms.
just kind of,
Greer,
yeah.
court is actively in session, so the MIDC attorney might have been out here handling other matters. But if you go back into that waiting room, someone will see you this morning and I will recall your matter, okay?
Okay, thank you. I just want to let you know that I was here. I didn't.
No, ma'am, I saw you. I knew you were here. You're fine. No worries.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. This is 23BL00358OM, City of Belleville versus James Bartolotti. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley, appearing on behalf of the defendant, Mr. James Bartolotti. This is back up for a follow-up pretrial, Your Honor. After speaking with the prosecutor and my client, we've elected to go ahead and plead as charged to the dog at large case, and we're prepared for allocution and immediate sentencing when the court is ready to hear us.
Mr. Bartolotti, state your name for me, please, sir.
James William Bartolotti.
Thank you, sir. You've had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Hadley. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
I do, ma'am.
And after having that conversation, sir, it's your understanding and agreement that you will be entering a plea of guilty as charged to the dog at large.
Yes.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
I am.
You haven't been threatened in any way, anything to get you to plead guilty.
I'm sorry.
I said you haven't been threatened in any way, promise anything to get you to plead guilty.
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Mr. Bartolotti, is it true that on April 17, 2023, in the city of Belleville, you had a dog off your premises?
Yes.
Satisfied, Mr. Wayne?
Yes, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Hadley?
We are, Your Honor.
Mr. Bartolotti, the court accepts your plea of guilty as charged to the dog at large. Mr. Hadley, there was something you wanted to say on behalf of Mr. Bartolotti.
Yeah, it's very briefly, Your Honor. Again, Mr. Bartolotti accepts responsibility and understands that, that the dog did get out the front door that day. Thankfully, again, they've sounds like steps have been taken to make sure this isn't a repeating process. Thankfully, again, it was a Chihuahua, and no one was attacked and nothing like that happened. Those big attitude little dog, but in this instance, sounds like one of the neighbors, a young child, had take off running, but there was no injuries, no restitution, nothing that needed to be addressed. Again, Mr. Bartolotti understands what happened and has agreed that he'll take all those steps to make sure we're not back here with another dog at large ticket.
Thank you, Mr. Hadley, and the court will impose minimal fines and costs in this matter. There's a $100 fine, there's $100 in costs, there's $75 mandatory crime victims fee, there's $50 mandatory state cost and $20 fund fee. That's $345. Excuse me, Mr. Bartolotti, do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
If possible, yes.
Then, Mr. Bartolotti, the next thing you will see is an invitation to go into the breakout room. There is an agent from this court's collection department, Maria. She will help you establish a payment plan for this matter. Anything else, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bartolotti.
No, I said thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome, sir. Please go join Maria and you have a wonderful day.
Okay, you also.
Thank you. These are 23RP03942A, B, and C. These are City of Romulus versus Jose Bustamante Glade.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
morning, Your Honor. Angela Manarino on behalf of the city of Romulus.
Sir, turn your video on and state your name for me, please.
Jose Bustamante.
Sir, the way the court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you intend to proceed on your own in these matters?
Yes, ma'am.
You've had the opportunity to speak to the prosecutor?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Manarino, how are we proceeding this morning?
Thank you, Your Honor. I did speak with Mr. Bustamante this morning. We are moving to amend the expired license to double parking. We would then move to dismiss the remaining 2 civil infractions. Mr. Bustamante has agreed to a fine of $250.
Thank you. Sir, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. You may put your hand down. You understand the reason we're here, the charges you face.
Yes, ma'am.
You've had the opportunity to speak to the prosecutor,
Yes, ma'am.
and you wish to tender a plea of responsible to double parking.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that upon entry and acceptance of that plea, the other matters will be dismissed.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you understand that if the court accepts your pleas this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Okay, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead responsible?
No, ma'am.
Sir, is it true that on July,
I'm sorry, ma'am. Carlos. I'm sorry about that, ma'am. I'm at work.
no worries, we're almost done. Sir, is it true that on July 25th, 2023, in the city of Romulus, you were double parked contrary to law?
Yes, ma'am.
Satisfied, Ms. Manarino?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Sir, the court accepts your plea of responsible to the double parking. All other matters have been dismissed as indicated by Ms. Manarino. The fine in this matter will be $250. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
How long do you need?
7 days.
7 days, 7 days to pay. Anything
Yeah.
else, sir?
That'd be all.
7 days to pay. You may pay in person, you may pay online, or you can mail it into the court. Other than that, have a good day at work.
You too. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Thank you. Mr. Bartolotti, what happened?
I'm trying to get off the phone. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. We can put you out. No worries. Have you already spoken to the clerk?
I have. Yes, I have.
Okay. Then I will put you out right now. You have a wonderful day, okay?
Same to you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Thank you. These are 23BL00671 A, B, and C. These are City of Belleville versus Olivia Howe. May I have your appearances, please?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Matthew Wayne on behalf of the city of Belleville.
Good morning, Your Honor. Daniel Batar on behalf of Olivia Howe.
State your name for me, please, ma'am.
Olivia Howe.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for the arraignment and pretrial. Nope, sorry. Today is the day and time set for the pretrial in these matters. Mr. Batar, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, Ms. Howe is going to plead guilty to operating while visibly impaired. The driving without due care and the DWLS will be dismissed. We're stipulating to probable cause for the DWLS.
I'm sorry. Mr. Batar, say that again for me.
Leading to operating while visibly impaired, dismissal of the DWLS and driving without due care with a stipulation to probable cause on the DWLS.
I heard that last part and I'd heard that dismissed, so who put that on the side for right now? Ms. Howell, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
You may put your hand down. Thank you. You've had the opportunity to discuss this case with Mr. Batari. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes.
And after having that conversation, ma'am, it's your understanding and agreement that you'll be tendering a plea of guilty this morning to the added count of operating while visibly impaired, stipulating to the driving while license suspended, and all other matters will be dismissed.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Howe, is it true that on July 1st, 2023, in the city of Belleville, you operated a motor vehicle while you were visibly impaired?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, do you admit and acknowledge that at the time you came in contact with law enforcement, you had a blood alcohol of 0.221?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, you also stipulate and agree that at the time you came in contact with law enforcement, you were driving while your license was suspended, revoked, or otherwise denied.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Batar, would you like to inquire any further of your client?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Satisfied, Mr. Wayne?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ma'am, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the added count of operating while visibly impaired, accepts the stipulation to the driving while license suspended, and then dismisses that case along with the civil infraction of driving without care or caution. Because this isn't drinking and driving offense, the next step in these proceedings is that the matter will be referred to the probation department. They will conduct an interview of you, develop a sentence recommendation, and schedule you to return to this courtroom for sentence to be imposed in this matter. Please respond to all phone calls and emails from the probation department so that the interview may be conducted as soon as possible, and you may be returned here to have this matter concluded. Mr. Wayne, anything else on behalf of the city?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Batar?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Howe, that concludes this matter for today. You're free to go. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. Good
Thank you,
morning,
Judge.
Mr. Bowditch.
Thank you, Mary Ann.
You're welcome, Mr.
Have a good
Patel.
day.
Good morning, Your Honor. I
Yeah.
apologize. for
How are
being
you,
late.
sir? How are you, Mr. Bowditch?
Oh, I'm fine, Your Honor. I apologize for being late.
No, as long as we're on the record, you're not late, sir.
I guess I'm ready for the next available, Your Honor, if there's one out there.
The next available.
MIDC client.
Let's look. If there are people in the waiting room, Mary Ann will assist you in getting moved into those rooms.
There's there are quite a few, Jeff, and I made you co-host, so you can move around.
You know, Mary Ann, I apologize, but I usually have a bar at the bottom which allows me to move myself around. I don't see it.
Your Honor, is it possible for me to speak with the Belleville prosecutor?
Absolutely. Mr. Wayne will join you in his meeting room.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Orderly. Hello.
Ms. Greer, so good to see you again.
Great to see you as well.
And we are
This
set
is
to
a
go this time
recall of
around, Your Honor.
23 This is a recall of 23RP03220OM, City of Romulus versus Alexis Greer. Your appearances.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley appearing on behalf of the defendant, Miss Alexis Greer.
Good morning, Your Honor. Angela Mannering on behalf of the City of Romulus.
Ms. Greer, can you please state your name very briefly for the record?
Alexis Greer.
You have the floor, Mr. Hadley.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'll waive the formal reading of the arraignment and enter a plea of not guilty at this time. We will be contacting Mr. Greco to obtain some discovery in this matter. So we would ask for a new pretrial date.
Thank you. Ms. Greer, your bond will be set at 1,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear until this case is resolved in its entirety. Discovery has been requested in this matter. We will adjourn the pretrial to
September 7th at 8:50.
September 7th at 8:50 a.m. Ms. Greer, that's back here on Zoom, back here with me in courtroom number 1. Staff will mail notice to you at the address we have on file, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
I will have a good day, ma'am. I'll see you on September 7th.
That you understand. Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Kaplan.
Good morning, Your Honor. You to get you to plead.
We have now seen the entire appointed roster, I think, this morning.
This is actually a retained case. If I can get a breakout room with Mr. Greco.
Right, so.
With Ms. Manarino?
Settle for me.
It's not good for me.
29. I'll move you.
And dress these people up.
And you took a breathalyzer.
Marianne, while we have a lull in the action, I'll bring you your files. Josh Hadley is in person with you on that day, and if they're able to resolve both cases, I didn't know if you want to keep that file or
I'll just reschedule it to that day. Which day? Oh, the day that comes.
the day, I put it,
Well, I'm hoping until after this hearing. Oh,
so I don't know, I haven't given it to Marianne to dispo yet. I don't know I don't know what to do, other than I saw your note. It seems that Mr. Hadley thinks it's the same.
do you want me to go grab?
Mr. Hadley wants them to travel together. He thinks he can resolve them both at the same time. And when I saw your note, I wasn't sure if that meant how you wanted to.
So do you want me to put this on the docket with that one and ask the prosecutor to come in on that day?
I don't know. Your note wasn't.
Well, let me go grab mine.
Thank you. Your file might make more sense to you.
Am I connected?
You're connected now, sir. You should
Oh,
see an
okay.
invitation to go into a breakout room.
Okay.
Thank you. Blah, 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 blah.
They scheduled, which I told Mackenzie who did incorrectly, she scheduled a show cause on this case before he was sentenced on this, whereas usually he was then sentenced on this and then we do the show cause. So it's just, we were waiting to see if he, pled to this and was put on, whatever, to figure out how we were gonna close this case.
What's this? He was sentenced to
9 months, 0 fines and costs. August 22nd of last year.
so under advisement.
Yeah, it was otherwise.
So he wants to, oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm with you now.
Yeah, so we were waiting to see what happened in this case to figure out how to sentence him on this one. To close the case.
And the 9 months is up when? I'm sorry, you said, I forgot.
August, September, December, January, March, April, May. It was up in May.
Oh, so what is there to do?
Because this happened a month before he got off. So it depends on how they handle this one, if they give another UA or if he straight up guilty. Because he has this one.
Oh, then what I'll do, it will go to Marianne, but I'll make myself a note to stick in the back that EAO case UA in effect with
Well, I'll wait for that.
new
We'll figure out.
date of offense. Thank you. 23BL00339OM, City of Belleville versus Sabrina Armadas. Case was scheduled at 8 a.m. for show cause. Arraignment and pretrial. It is now 9:45 by this court's clock. There are no unidentified persons in this court session. There's no one by that name. Armadas in the breakout rooms based on the defendant's second failure to appear in this matter. Bench warrant shall issue 5,000, 10%. take your hood off, please. Thank you. These are 23BL00683, A, B, and C. These are City of Belleville versus Newbie. May I have your Nubby, may I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Matthew Wayne on behalf of the city of Belleville.
Good morning, Your Honor. Teresa Patton appearing on behalf of Mrs. Newby.
State your name for me, please.
Katrina Newby.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for the arraignment pretrials in these matters. Ms. Patton, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, I've spoken with my client regarding this matter, and after speaking with the prosecutor, it's my understanding that he is willing to dismiss the driving while license suspended charge as long as Ms. Newby is willing to stipulate to the probable cause for that charge, which she is. And then regarding the civil infractions that accompany it, I would need to know if those are in default or not, because the offer depends on that.
They are not in default, ma'am.
Okay, it's my understanding, and Mr. Prosecutor can correct me if I'm wrong, that then he's willing to dismiss the civil infractions as well.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Ms. Newby, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. You've had the opportunity to discuss this. You've had the opportunity to discuss your case this morning with Ms. Patton, and you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes.
And ma'am, it's your understanding and agreement that you will stipulate to probable cause as to the driving while license suspended, revoked, or denied on July 10th, 2023, and all of these matters will be dismissed.
Yes.
And ma'am, you're entering this agreement freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to stipulate to the probable cause for the stop?
No.
Ma'am, is it true that on July 10th, 2023, in the city of Belleville, you were operating a motor vehicle while your license was suspended?
Yes.
Ms. Patton, would you like to inquire further of your client?
No, Your Honor, we're satisfied.
Mr. Wayne, are you satisfied?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Newby, the court accepts your stipulation to probable cause on the day and time in question and will hereby dismiss the misdemeanor matter and the 2 civil infractions that are traveling with it. Anything else in these matters, Mr. Wayne?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Ms. Patton?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ma'am, you're welcome. Ma'am, that concludes these matters. You're free to go. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. This is 2207920D. This is City of Romulus versus Andre Johnson. May I have your appearances, please?
Good
Your
morning,
Honor, for the
Your Honor.
record-
Andrew on behalf of the city of Romulus.
Your Honor, for the record, Jeffrey Botch, appearing on behalf of and with Mr. Johnson. I apologize, Madam Prosecutor. I was just surprised when you jumped in there.
No worries.
Your
Mr.
Honor,
Johnson, state your name for me, please.
Andre Johnson.
Thank you. Mr. Bowdish, please proceed.
Your Honor, today's a date and time set for an arraignment in this matter. We waive formal reading and stand mute. We're also requesting an adjournment, Your Honor, to review some discovery.
Thank you, Mr. Bowdish. There was a recommendation from Romulus Police Department requesting a cash bond of 5,000, 10%. Your response to that recommendation, sir?
Well, Your Honor, I wasn't aware of that, but I don't believe that this is the first offense of this nature for Mr. Johnson. I don't believe he has any criminal history. I think a personal bond would be appropriate if the court would consider it.
The court does not see any criminal history that resulted in convictions. There is no indication that Mr. Johnson poses a flight risk of any type.
It might be, Your Honor, because it's a 22 case.
I understand. Thank you, Mr. Bowditch. Mr. Johnson, the court will set your bond at $5,000 personal, sir. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by this court until this matter is resolved in its entirety.
Yes, ma'am.
There is a report from the Michigan State Police Forensic Science Unit showing that you had a blood alcohol content at the date and time in question of 0.163. Out of an abundance of caution, the court will set a condition of your bond that you not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages during the pendency of this matter. Mr. Bowditch, the court heard your request for discovery, and we will adjourn this matter to
September 7th at 9 o'clock.
September 7th at 9 a.m. Mr. Johnson, that's back here with me, back on Zoom in courtroom number 1. Anything else, Ms. Manarino?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Bowditch?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. I'll see you on September 7th. Court staff will mail notice to you at the address that you verified this morning.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. This is 23RP039140M, City of Romulus versus Stafford Wilson. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Angela Mannering on behalf of the City of Romulus.
Stafford
State your name, please. Thank you. Mr.
Stafford
Wilson, the way the
Wilson.
court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
It's your intention to proceed on your own this morning.
Yes.
You've had the opportunity to speak to the prosecutor.
Yes.
Ms. Manarino, how are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, we would move to amend the threats charge to a disorderly person charge. The offer is for Mr. Wilson to plead guilty to the disorderly conduct charge under 771 for a period of 6 months, with the condition that during that 6 months, he not return to the location where this occurred or have contact with the complainant in this matter.
Mr. Wilson, is that how you wish to proceed this morning?
Yes.
Raise your right hand for me, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson, you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties?
Yes.
And with that understanding, sir, you wish to plead guilty to the added count of disorderly person?
Yes.
And you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind?
Yes.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor?
Okay. Yes.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson, is it true that on July 22nd, 2023, in the city of Romulus, you were a disorderly person?
Yes.
Satisfied, Ms. Manarino?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Wilson, the court accepts your plea of guilty to being a disorderly person. The original charge of threats is dismissed. As indicated by Ms. Manarino, sentence in this matter will be delayed for a period of 6 months. During that period of time, sir, you are to incur no new offenses in the state of Michigan, and you are to stay away from the property where this incident occurred, that being 29841 Van Born Road in the city of Romulus. The court will also impose
I don't see anywhere here.
cost of $300. Mr. Wilson, do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
Yes.
Your hearing with this court is concluded this morning. Mr. Wilson, you will be moved into the collections department to speak to Maria about establishing a payment plan, okay?
Okay.
Have a good day, sir. This is 23RP03920 A and B. This is City of Romulus versus Vermiglio Matanka.
Good
Your
morning,
Honor.
Your Honor. Angela Manring on behalf of the city of Romulus.
It's so weird hearing you say that, Angela. And Joshua Kaplan, not on the city of Romulus, but on behalf of Noah Vermiglios Manteca. We do have an agreement here today where my client would plead to one count of allow an unlicensed driver and a double parking dismissal of the original two charges. My client has been advised of his rights and wishes to enter into that plea.
Your client will unmute themselves, turn their video on, and state their name for the record, please.
Hi, my name is
No,
Noah.
Mr. Vermiglio, will you just take off your hood, please?
Oh, sorry. My name is Noah Vermilios Matanka.
Thank you, sir. You've had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Kaplan, and you understand the charges you face and the
Yes.
possible penalties.
Yes, Your Honor.
And after having that conversation, is your understanding and agreement that you will be tendering a plea of guilty to allowing an unauthorized driver to drive and responsible to double parking?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, Your Honor.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, Your Honor.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty and responsible.
Not at all.
You're doing so because you are in fact guilty and responsible.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, is it true that on July 24, 2023, in the city of Romulus, you allowed an unauthorized person to operate a motor vehicle?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it also true on that same date and location you were double parked contrary to law?
Yes, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Ms. Manarino?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Kaplan?
Satisfied, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Sir, the court accepts your plea of guilty and responsible. Plea of guilty to allowing an unauthorized driver to drive and responsible to double parking. Any comments before fines and costs are imposed, Mr. Kaplan?
Your Honor, just that my client is trying to clear everything up. I think he's taking responsibility, and I believe just fines and costs is appropriate in this manner.
Thank you. In the A file, which was the speeding ticket, which is now the double parking, fines will be assessed at the amount of $200. At the B file, allowing an unauthorized driver to drive, there will be costs of $100, fines of $100, $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state costs, and $20 fund fee. That's $345. That's a total of $545, sir. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
No, ma'am.
5 days to pay, and these matters will be resolved. Anything else, Ms. Manarino?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Kaplan?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sir, before you leave, you may make that payment in person, you may pay it online, or you may mail it to the court. You have a wonderful day.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. You as well.
You're welcome.
May the court and also even Ms. Manarino have a wonderful day as well. You guys have a good one.
Thank you, Mr. Kaplan.
Take care, Mr. Kaplan. That was shady. Wow. This is 23BL000704OM. This is City of Belleville versus Samuel Sullins. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Matthew Wayne on behalf of the city of Belleville.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley appearing on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Sam Sullins. Mr. Sullins, please state your name for the record.
Samuel D. Sullins.
Thank you, Mr. Sullins. Today is the day and time set for the arraignment and pretrial. Mr. Hadley, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we'll waive formal reading, and after having a chance to speak with the defendant and the prosecutor, we would like to avail ourselves of the people's plea offer. Mr. Sullins will be pleading under MCL 771.1 to one count of disorderly person.
For a period of?
The specifics on the length of probation had not been finalized by myself and the prosecutor. We can leave that to the court's discretion. Again, we would note that Mr. Sullins went back to the location where the disorderly person event took place, has made amends and apologies to the bar owner. He has no prior criminal conduct, and is a decorated veteran. So I think all those things considered, we'll leave it at the court's discretion unless Mr. Wayne has a specific length of probation in mind.
Up to the court.
Thank you. Mr. Solons, raise your right hand for me, please, sir.
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. You've had the opportunity to discuss this case with Mr. Hadley. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes, ma'am.
And after having that conversation, sir, is your understanding and agreement that you will enter a plea this morning of guilty as charged to being a disorderly person?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
Yes, ma'am. I am.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty.
No, ma'am.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
I made a mistake, ma'am.
So answer to my question is, are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Solons, is it true that on July 22nd, 2023, in the city of Belleville, you were a disorderly person?
That is correct.
Satisfied, Mr. Wayne?
Yes, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Hadley?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Mr. Solons, the court accepts your plea of being a disorderly person in this matter. As indicated by Mr. Hadley, sentence in this matter will be delayed for a period of 6 months. Sir, I'm sorry, will be a delayed sentence pursuant to 771.1. The court will set that period for 6 months. So long as you incur no new criminal offenses in the state of Michigan and pay costs of $200, the matter will be administratively reviewed for dismissal. And Mr. Solons, the court will thank you for your service. Thank you for returning to the bait shop and making your apologies and amends to the owner.
He's a good man. I know he's a prior police officer himself. I do a lot of work in the city of Belleville still. I go up there and I still do charity work. I don't like to have a bad standing with anybody in town. And I know that he knows other friends of mine. And I just want to be a good member and a good steward of the community. And I already, as the owner and I had spoke, I plan to make a return up there. And there's always a slight potential we could work together in the future on a charity project.
Thank you for that, Mr. Solons. It is a nice restaurant. It's a beautiful location, even with the turf out there on the side of the building. But, sir, again, 6 months, no new violations in the state of Michigan, cost of $200. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that $200?
No, ma'am. I can pay immediately. Will I receive an email and instructions?
Not an email, sir, but you may go onto the court's website. You type in the citation number or type your name in, and it will allow you to make your payment that way. But the results are not in there instantaneously, so please allow a day for the staff to get that information put in, and then you can just go to 34th District Court's website and make that payment.
Yes, ma'am. I'll pay as soon as it's.
Thank you, Mr. Solons. You take care, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for your time, and I appreciate everybody's help in this process.
Absolutely. Mr. Bowditch, what's going on?
Your Honor, I'm trying to get in with the Belleville prosecutor.
Mary Ann will help you with that. Oh, thank you, Mr. Wayne.
I was in his waiting room, Your Honor. I was just wondering. I'll go back into his waiting room.
Thank you. That was me dragging my feet, Mr. Bowditch. 23BL 00636 AOT, City of Belleville versus Leah Boone Warren. The case was scheduled at 8 a.m. for show cause arraignment pretrial. It's now 10:07 by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear for a second time in this matter, bench warrant shall issue 5,000, 10%. Two-three RP 03045 AOM, City of Romulus versus Scott Chapin. The matter was scheduled at 8 a.m. for show cause arraignment and pretrial. It is now 10:08 by the court's clock. There is no one by that name in the court's meeting rooms. There are no unidentified persons in this court's main session. Defendant having failed to appear for a second time in this matter, bench warrant shall issue 5,000, 10%. Marianne or Carol, there's some unidentified person in the waiting room for the clerks.
Yep, we'll head right over there.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Wayne,
Yes, Your Honor.
there are people waiting for you unless Mr. Bowditch is just using your room.
I couldn't locate Mr. Bowditch. I went to the prosecutors, rather to the Belleville prosecutor meeting room, and I couldn't find his name on the roster of,
He's in your waiting room with someone who's waived MIDC. I see them both in there.
okay, I will join right now then. Thank you.
Thank you. Mm-mm. This is 23RP02572B, City of Romulus versus Taylor Ivy. The matter was scheduled at 8 a.m. for show cause arraignment and pretrial. Is now 10:10 by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear for a second time, bench warrant shall issue 5,000, 10%. This is 23BL00621 AOT, City of Belleville versus Alfred Nathan. The matter was scheduled for show cause arraignment pretrial at 8 a.m. It's now 10:11 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear for a second time in this matter, Bench warrant shall issue 5,000, 10%. This is 23BL00325 AOT. This is City of Belleville versus Michael Pritzula. This matter was scheduled for show cause arraignment pretrial at 8 a.m. It's now 10:12 by this court's clock. There are no unidentified persons in this court's Zoom session. Defendant having failed to appear for a second time in this matter, bench warrant shall issue 5,000, 10%. These are 23BL00684 A, B, and C. These are City of Belleville versus Nicole Beelan. These cases were scheduled for arraignment pretrial and pre-hearing at 8:30. It's now 10:13 by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, the A and B files, which are civil infractions, will be deemed in default. The C file will be set for show cause. The misdemeanor file will be set for show cause.
Your Honor, I spoke with the unrepresented individual who waived his representation. He's in the clerk's waiting room.
Mr.
Kadzak.
Zazik. As soon as he comes out, we'll get the case called.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
This is 23BL00702OM. This is City of Belleville versus Clayton Zazik. May I have your appearances, please?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Matthew Wayne on behalf of the City of Belleville.
State your name for me, please, sir.
Clayton Charles Zazik.
Mr. Zazik, the way the court staff have you labeled indicates that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes.
You intend to proceed on your own this morning?
Yes.
Sir, you've had the opportunity to meet with the prosecutor, Mr. Wayne, this morning?
Yes.
Mr. Wayne, how are we proceeding?
The city is going to permit the defendant to plead guilty under advisement and ask that for a period of 6 months, he not have any criminal violations.
Sir, is that how you wish to proceed this morning?
Yes.
Raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Sir, you understand the charges you're faced with and the possible penalties.
Yes.
And after having a conversation with the prosecutor, you wish to accept his offer to plead guilty as charged to dog at large.
Yes.
And you understand that if the court accepts that plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty.
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Sir, is it true that on July 20th, 2023, in the city of Belleville, you had a dog at large?
Yes. He got off his leash.
I know that feeling, sir. Satisfied, Mr. Wayne?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the sole count in this matter of dog at large. As previously indicated, sentence in this matter will be delayed for a period of 6 months pursuant to MCL 771.1. Sir, so long as you incur no new criminal cases in the state of Michigan during that 6 months' time and pay costs of $200, the matter will be administratively reviewed for dismissal at the end of that 6-month period. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
No, I don't.
5 days to pay, sir. You may pay in person, you may mail it to the court, or you may pay online. Unless you have any questions, sir, you're free to go. You have a wonderful day.
Where at online?
On the court's website, MI 34th District Court, you type in your citation number, which is in the upper right-hand corner of the notice you have to appear this morning. But I would ask that you wait, if you will be paying online, wait until at least tomorrow to give court staff time to type in the information from today's proceedings.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. You have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you. These are 23BL00482 A and B. These are City of Belleville versus Kamaya Corral. These matters were scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 8:30 a.m. Ms. Medina was here. The defendant has not appeared. It is now 10:19 by this court's clock. Let's just double check and make sure there is no one by that name in any of the court's breakout sessions. There is not, and there are no unidentified persons in this court's main session. Based on the defendant's failure to appear, these matters will be set for show cause. Ms. Manarino, there is someone from the 8 o'clock docket in your waiting room. Taylor Ivy. These are 2302780M and 23RP03762OM. These are both City of Romulus versus David Lowry. The matters were scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 8:50. It is now 10:21 by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. Matters will be set for show cause. Oh, no, my apologies. The 278 files in warrant status and will stay that way. This is 22-0308-M, City of Romulus versus Sade Salters. This matter was scheduled for pretrial at 8:50 a.m. It is now 10:22 a.m. by this court's clock. Neither the defendant, Ms. Manarino, have you had any communication from Ms. Fulmer?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Neither the defendant nor the retained attorney have appeared this morning. Matter will be set for show cause. This is 23 RP 02572 BOT. This is City of Romulus versus Taylor Ivy. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Angela Mannering on behalf of the City of Romulus.
State your name for the record, ma'am.
Taylor Ivy.
Ms. Ivy, this case was scheduled at 8 a.m. The court called it at 10:10. What happened to you this morning, ma'am?
Running late, and then I did a lady.
What about the lady?
I called the 30 meeting ID.
Ms. Ivy, what I need you to do is turn yourself just a little bit. That light behind you makes it very difficult for me to see you. Thank you. Ma'am, the way the court staff have you labeled indicates that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes.
You intend to proceed on your own?
Yes.
You've had the opportunity to meet with the prosecutor, Ms. Manarino?
Yes.
Ms. Manarino, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, it appears as if this case was a true no-ops where Ms. Ivy didn't have her license or present it to the officer during the traffic stop. Her license is valid, and therefore we're moving to dismiss the charge against her.
Ms. Ivy, do you have any objection to this case being dismissed?
No.
The case is hereby dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Ivy, have a good day. You're free to go.
Thank you.
This is 23BL002930M, City of Belleville versus Mackenzie Chandler. State your names for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Matthew Wayne on behalf of the City of Belleville.
Mr. Chandler, say it again for me, please.
Mackenzie Chandler.
Thank you. The way the court staff have you labeled indicates that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Oh, I just talked to him, but I changed my mind, but I guess I could go on without him.
However you wish to proceed, sir.
I think I'll wait for my lawyer.
You wait for your lawyer? Who's your lawyer, sir?
It's the free appointed one, I believe.
Your Honor, if I may,
Okay.
it's Mr. Bowditch.
What? He's labeled as waived, so let's wait for Mr. Bowditch. Thank you. Sir, sit tight. The court staff will mute you until your case is ready to be called. This
Yes,
is
Your Honor.
23BL00504 AOT. This is City of Belleville versus Sami Abdelatif.
Abdelatif.
Abdelatif, thank you. Your appearances, please.
Matthew Wayne on behalf of the City of Belleville.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley on behalf of the defendant, who has already stated his name for the record. Are we hearing an arraignment? I apologize. Do we need to address that first?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely, Your Honor. We'll waive the formal reading of the arraignment. After advising my clients of his rights and meeting with the prosecutor, we would like to avail ourselves of the people's plea offer, where my client will be pleading guilty to allowing unlicensed driver to drive, and the driving while license suspended will be dismissed.
Thank you. Raise your right hand for me, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. You've had the opportunity to meet with Mr. Hadley this morning, and you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes,
And after having that conversation with Mr. Hadley, you wish to plead guilty to the added count of allowing an unauthorized driver to drive.
I do.
You understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes,
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
yes,
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
yes,
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty.
no,
You're pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty.
yes,
Is it true that on May 20th, 2023, in the city of Belleville, you allowed an unauthorized person to operate a motor vehicle?
yes,
Satisfied, Mr. Wayne?
Yes, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Hadley?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the added count of allowing an unlicensed driver to drive and unauthorized driver to drive and will dismiss the driving while license suspended. Mr. Hadley, is there anything you'd like to say on behalf of your client before fines and costs are assessed?
Briefly, Your Honor, that this matter, and I believe he just has two other citations that are the only impediment to him obtaining that valid driver's license. So again, the defendant's taken all the right steps to satisfy his financial obligations and will soon be a licensed driver on the roads again.
Thank you. Sir, the court will impose a fine of $100. There's cost of $100. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee. There's $50 show cause fee. There's $50 mandatory state cost and $20 fund fee. That's $395. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount, sir?
yes. I probably would just need 2 to 3 weeks.
Well, sir, you don't sound quite sure on the period of time. So what we'll do is we'll see you into a breakout room with Maria. She's from our collections department. She'll help set a payment plan in this matter. This $395 may be added to your existing payment plan with the court, okay?
Awesome. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. You have a good day, sir.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you. This is 23BL 002930M, City of Belleville versus Mackenzie Chandler. Your appearances, please.
Your Honor, for the record, Jeffrey Bowditch appearing on behalf of with Mr. Chandler. He had originally waived, Your Honor, but after discussions with, I've talked to him, Your Honor. We have a plea agreement, or we have an agreement.
And that agreement is, Mr. Bowditch?
Mr. Chandler would be pleading guilty to the charge of having an open in talks.
Mr. Chandler, raise your right hand for me, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, Your Honor.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, Your Honor.
And sir, you're entering this plea of guilty to open intox freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, is it true that on March the 26th, 2023, in the city of Belleville, you had open intox on the sidewalk?
Yes, Your Honor. I fell off my bike and my beer, it spilled on the pavement, and that's where they arrested me for open intox.
Understood, Mr. Chandler. Mr. Bowditch, would you like to inquire any further of your client, sir?
No, Your Honor. Defense satisfied.
Satisfied, Mr. Wayne?
Yes, Your Honor. Before this case concludes, I'm sorry, first of all, I should put my appearance on the record, Matthew Wayne, on behalf of the city of Belleville. I would like to inform the court of something. You have a moment?
Absolutely.
I'd like to wait
Right
until
now, Mr. Wayne.
Okay. The defendant, as I learned yesterday, the defendant, and I think the court should be aware of this, the defendant has a pending felony matter in Wayne County. He also has open criminal matters for, I believe, robbery and breaking and entering and misdemeanor sexual assault out of Canton Township and Westland. I believe the Canton Township matter is currently in the warrant process.
I reviewed Mr. Chandler's file and saw that same information, Mr. Wayne, so thank you very much for highlighting that. Mr. Bowditch, was there anything you'd like to say before fines and costs are imposed in this matter?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. The court will impose a fine of $100. There's cost of $100. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee. There's $50 show cause fee and a $50 bench warrant fee. There's $50 mandatory state cost and $20 fund fee. That's $445. Mr. Chandler, do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount, sir?
Oh, I could do it in 3 weeks because I just got my job and they got the pay periods for like maybe my second paycheck. I could pay half of it.
So, Mr. Chandler, let's do this. You indicated that you just got this job, so let's have you go into the breakout room and meet with the collection staff to set a payment plan that's realistic for you, given your other obligations, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, sir. You'll see an invitation to go into that collections meeting room right now.
Your Honor, I'm also ready on Mr. Beecham.
I was just about to call that, Mr. Bowditch. Thank you. This is 23BL007010M. This is City of Belleville versus Austin Lee Beecham. May I have your appearance, please?
Your Honor, for the record, Jeffrey Bowditch appearing on behalf of and with Mr. Beecham. Mr. Beecham, could you tell the judge your name for the record, please?
Austin Lee Beecham LaFleche.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, today is the date and time set for an arraignment. We waive form of reading and stand mute. We've also had a chance to pre-try this case, Your Honor. We do have an executed plea agreement in which Mr. Beecham would be pleading guilty to an added civil infraction of double parking with a suggested fine of $250. And the original charge would be dismissed.
Mr. Beecham LaFleche, would you raise your right hand for me, please, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. You've had the opportunity to discuss this case with Mr. Bowditch this morning. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes, ma'am.
And after having that conversation, it's your decision this morning to accept the offer from the prosecutor and plead responsible to the added count of double parking.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead responsible.
No, ma'am.
Sir, is it true that on July 19, 2023, in the city of Belleville, you were double parked contrary to law?
Yes, ma'am.
Satisfied, Mr. Wang?
Yes, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Bowditch?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Sir, the court accepts your plea of responsible to the added count of double parking and will dismiss the misdemeanor. As indicated by Mr. Bowditch, the court will impose the fine of $250, sir. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
No, ma'am.
5 days to pay, Mr. Beecham LaFleche. Other than that, that concludes this matter. You're free to go. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Bowditch. These are 23RP03804A, B, C, and D, and 1912390M. These cases were scheduled at 9 o'clock. It's now 10:37 by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, the 191239 file is in warrant status and will stay that way. The B file, which is the misdemeanor, will be set for show cause, and the remaining files where civil infractions will be deemed in default. This is 23BL00711OT, City of Belleville versus Benjamin Galindez. The matter was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 9 a.m. It's now 10:39 a.m. by this court's clock. There is no one by that name in the court's breakout session, and there are no unidentified persons in this court's Zoom meeting. Based on the defendant's failure to appear as directed by the court, the matter will be set for show cause. Yes, Mr. Hadley.
Your Honor, I am trying to move Mr. Devon Parks in. I believe he just did. And then after that, I need an audience with Mr. Wayne. I can knock a few more out.
Thank you.
All right, there's Angela. Okay, we're all set to go.
This is 230554OM, City of Romulus versus Devon Parks. May I have your appearance, please?
Good morning. Nicole Mandarin on behalf of the City of Romulus.
Morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Devon Parks. Mr. Parks, please state your name for the court.
Devon Parks.
Mr. Hadley, today is the day and time scheduled for the arraignment and pretrial on this matter. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we'll waive the formal reading of the arraignment, and we, after discussing my client's rights and the people's plea offer, we would like to avail ourselves of said plea, whereby the assault and battery on case, I'm sorry, that's both same case number. Yes, the assault and battery will be dismissed in exchange for a guilty plea of the malicious destruction of property with an agreement of $250 in restitution to cover plexiglass at the Howard Johnson.
Thank you. Mr. Parks, raise your right hand for me, please, sir.
Right here.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear, it's the truth.
Thank you, sir. You may put your hand down. Sir, you've had the opportunity to discuss this case with Mr. Hadley, and you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes.
And after having that conversation, sir, is your understanding and agreement that you will be tendering a plea of guilty to count 1, malicious destruction of property, and count 2, assault and battery, will be dismissed?
Yes.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind?
Yes.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor?
Yes.
And Mr. Parks, are you entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Mr. Parks, is it true that on May the 1st, 2023, in the city of Romulus, that you did willfully, wrongfully, or maliciously destroy the plexiglass at the Howard Johnson's located in the city of Romulus, county of Wayne, state of Michigan?
Yes.
Satisfied, Ms. Manarino?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Hadley?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Mr. Parks, the court will accept your plea of guilty to the malicious destruction of property count 1 and dismiss the count 2 assault and battery. Other than the restitution, Mr. Hadley, is there anything you want to say on behalf of Mr. Parks before fines and costs are assessed in this matter?
That, again, Mr. Parks accepts full responsibility for his actions at the day and time in question. It's just a situation that escalated a little bit. Not a criminally minded individual. Looks forward to putting this matter behind him.
Thank you. Mr. Parks, the court will impose a fine of $200. There's cost of $100. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state costs, $20 fund fee, and $250 in restitution due to the victim in this case. That's a total of $695. Sir, do you need more than 5 days to pay this amount?
Yes.
Then, Mr. Parks, what will happen next is you'll see an invitation to go into the breakout room. You'll discuss the matter with Maria from the court's collection staff, and she will help you set a payment plan in this matter. Anything else, Ms. Manarino?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Hadley? I'll take that as a no. Mr. Parks, you'll see an invitation to go into the collections breakout. Please go there and speak to staff. Have a good day, sir.
You do the same. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Hadley. This is 23RP 03213OT, City of Romulus versus Gregory Robinson. Your appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Angela Manring on behalf of the city of Romulus.
Your Honor, for the record, Jeffrey Bowditch appearing on behalf of and with Mr. Robinson. Mr. Robinson, could you tell the judge your name for the record, please?
Gregory Robinson.
Thank you, sir. Your Honor, today's the date and time set for an arraignment in this matter. We'd wait for him a reading, stand mute. We've had a chance to pre-try this. In this matter, Mr. Robinson wishes a jury trial. Your Honor, Mr. Robinson is a resident of Florida, but he assures me he will make arrangements to be back for the jury trial. I told him it must be in person.
Thank you. Mr. Bowditch, the last time we were here, there was a discovery request made. Have you received all the documents and evidence or all the discovery from Ms. Manarino to proceed in this matter?
No, not yet, Your Honor.
Oh, just looking for a calendar.
Your Honor, we would like something at some length to give him, make sure he has arrangements to get up here and everything.
Understood, Mr. Bowditch. That's why we're looking at this calendar right now. I am looking at October the 27th. Mr. Robinson, would that give you sufficient time to arrange to be here?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be up there a couple times by then. I go back and forth a lot.
Understood.
That's a good date for the people, Your Honor.
Thank you. October 27, 2023 for the jury trial. This court's practice is to have the defendant and the attorneys here at 8:30, jurors at 9 o'clock, to make sure there are no preliminary matters that we need to discuss and resolve before the jury begins voir dire. Your plea cutoff, final pretrial will be, Ms. Manarino, when are you here before that? Final pretrial will be on October the 5th. At 10 a.m. That sounds too early. Let's say 11 a.m. by Zoom. That will also be the plea cutoff date. Your jury instructions, your witness and exhibit list will also be due on that day. The price will exchange discovery. So October 5th at 11 a.m. by Zoom for the plea cutoff, jury witness exhibit list, and then the jury trial on October the 27th. That's a Friday, 8:30 for the defendant and the attorneys, and then 9 a.m. for the jurors. Anything else, Ms. Manarino?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Bowditch?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Robinson, we will see you here in person on October 27th, but by Zoom on October 5th, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. You have a good day. You're free to go.
I'll be in touch with you, Mr. Robinson.
This is 174180OT. This is City of Belleville versus Michelle Wilder. This matter was scheduled at 9 a.m. today. It is now 10:49 a.m. by this court's clock. There is no one by that name in the court's breakout session. There are no unidentified persons in this court's main session. The defendant was last before this court on July 17, 2023, and was provided the date to reappear today and has failed to do so. Because this is a driving while license suspended matter, an older matter at that, the court will set it for show cause again. These are 23RP03877 A, B, and C. These are City of Romulus versus Robert Reeves. The matters were scheduled for arraignment, pretrial, and pre-hearing at 9:30 a.m. It's now 10:50 a.m. by the court's clock. There is no one by that name in the court's breakout sessions. There are no unidentified persons in this court's main session. Based on the defendant's failure to appear, the A file, which is the misdemeanor, will be set for show cause. The B and C files, which are civil infractions, will be deemed in default. These are 23RP03829 A and B. These are City of Romulus versus Christopher Rhodes. The matters were scheduled for arraignment, pretrial, and pre-hearing at 9:30. It's now 10:52 by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. The A file, which is the misdemeanor, will be set for show cause. The B file, which is the civil infraction, will be deemed in default. Mr. Stansberry doesn't want to come out, or you?
There he is.
There we are. Got nervous there for a minute. This is 22BL010120T, City of Belleville versus Trevor Stanberry. May I have your appearance, please?
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. State your name for me.
My name is Trevor Stanberry.
Thank you, Mr. Stanberry.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley, appearing on behalf of Mr. Stanberry.
And good morning, Your Honor. Matthew Wayne on behalf of the city of Belleville.
Mr.
Your
Hadley,
Honor,
this is the pretrial. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we're going to be asking for an adjournment for some discovery in this matter. Looks like it was a 2022 open intox case. Yeah, we don't have a police report or a ticket yet. I know that Mr. Wayne's working to get that to us. So we just asked for a brief adjournment.
Believe that Mr. Wayne's next date.
September 21st at 8:50.
8:50, I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. September 21st, 8:50 a.m., back here on Zoom, back here with me in number one, Mr. Stanberry. Anything else, Mr. Wayne?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Stanberry, you're free to go, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Two 3RP 038560T, City of Romulus versus Kyle Groven. This matter was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 9:10. It is now 10:55 by this court's clock. There are no unidentified persons in this court's May session. There are no unidentified persons in the court's breakout session. Based on the defendant's failure to appear as directed by the court this morning, the matter will be set for show cause. These are 23RP 03979 A and B, City of Romulus versus Richard Jones. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Angela Manning on behalf of the City of Romulus.
Your Honor, for the record, Jeffrey Bowditch appearing on behalf of and with Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones, could you tell the judge your name for the record, please?
Yes, it's Richard Jones.
Thank you, sir. Your Honor, today is a date and time set for an arraignment. We waive formal reading and stand mute. We've also had a chance to pre-try this case, Your Honor. We do have an executed plea agreement subject to court approval in which Mr. Jones would be pleading guilty to an added count of no operator's license on person and to the charge of double parking, with the understanding all the original charges would be dismissed.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, raise your right hand for me, please, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. You've had the opportunity to discuss this case with Mr. Bowditch, and you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, it's your understanding and agreement after this conversation that you will be entering a plea this morning of guilty to the added count of no operator's license on person and responsible to the added count of double parking.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that if the court accepts your pleas this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me. And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty and responsible?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Jones, is it true that on July the 25th, 2023, in the city of Romulus, you were operating a motor vehicle with no operator's license on your person?
Yes.
Sir, is it also true on that July 25th day in the city of Romulus, you were double parked contrary to law?
Yes.
Satisfied, Ms. Manarino?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Bowditch?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Sir, anything you'd like to say on behalf of Mr. Jones before fines and costs are imposed in this matter?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, the court will impose a fine of $200 in the A file, which is the double parking. And for the no operator's license, the court will assess a fine of $100, cost of $100, $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state cost, and $20 fund fee. That's a total in the license file of $345 for a total of $545. Sir, do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
More than 5, yes.
I'm sorry?
More than 5 days, yes.
Okay, then Mr. Jones, the next step in these proceedings is that you will go into the court's breakout session. You will meet with Maria from the court's collection staff. She'll be able to add these files from today to these other outstanding matters you have. You have some outstanding cases where you already owe the court $813, but Maria will be able to make a single payment plan for that $813 and today's $545, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Keep an eye out for the invitation to go into the collections breakout room. Other than that, sir, you have a wonderful day.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you. Do I see one person left with Mr. Hadley in the breakout room? Adamson from the city of Romulus. Mr. Wayne, unless it is that you enjoy our company so much, I think that concludes your docket for the day, sir.
I mean, I do enjoy your company very much. Every single one of you.
We will
All right.
see you on
21st looks like?
the 21st, looks like. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you,
Everybody
Matthew.
have a great week and rest of your week and weekend.
Thank you,
Thank
Matthew.
you, you too.
Thank you.
Mr. Hadley, did you need to speak to Ms. Manarino about this?
I do not. I just,
Okay,
Miss Adamson is housed with the Michigan Department of Corrections. I think there she is. I didn't know she needed help getting onto the, perfect.
these are 194437OM and 194770OM. These are both City of Romulus versus Veronica Adamson. May I have your appearances, please?
Angela Mandarin on behalf of the city of Romulus.
Hello, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley, appearing on behalf of the defendant, Miss Veronica Adamson, who is appearing via Zoom. Miss Adamson, please state your name for the court.
Veronica Adamson.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for the pretrial in these matters. These cases are both in warrant status. Mr. Hadley, how do you wish to proceed this morning, sir?
Your Honor, as to the warrant status, Miss Adamson is currently housed with the Michigan Department of Corrections. Basically, I would state that was the reason for not being able to return the court's paperwork, letting her know about the situation. Miss Adamson and I have discussed the current charges against her. I've advised her of her rights, and based upon our discussion, she would like to avail herself of the people's plea offer. At this time, Your Honor, we would be pleading guilty to 1 count of malicious destruction of property on case ending in 4437. The threats charge on case 4770 would be dismissed. There's a note in the file that restitution would be determined. We have no problem with that. After speaking with Ms. Adamson, the property that was damaged was fixed years ago, so I don't think there's any issue there.
Thank you. Ms. Adamson, raise your right hand for me, please, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, ma'am. You may put your hand down. You've had the opportunity to discuss both of these cases with Mr. Hadley this morning. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties?
Yes, I do.
And after having that conversation, ma'am, it's your intention this morning to plead guilty to count 1, malicious destruction of property, and the case that ends in 437, with the dismissal of the threats case that ends in 770.
Yes.
And ma'am, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes.
And ma'am, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
That is correct. Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty.
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Ma'am, is it true that on October 19, 2019, in the city of Romulus, you willfully and maliciously destroyed the property of another?
Yes.
Satisfied, Ms. Manarino?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Hadley?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, the court accepts your plea of guilty to malicious destruction of property and dismisses the assault and battery matter. Mr. Hadley, is there anything you'd like to say before fines and costs are imposed in this matter?
Your Honor, again, that Ms. Adamson is currently writing out her prison sentence. Positively speaking, she's doing flat time and will be released. I believe it was April of 2024. We already discussed some of the positive steps that she's going to be taking for reentry services. We would ask that when you're fashioning fines and costs, that the court just consider her ability to pay moving forward. We would ask that perhaps in lieu of fines and costs, the court could fashion a jail sentence to run concurrent with what she is currently serving in the MDOC.
Ms. Manarino, do you take any position on behalf of the city of Romulus?
Your Honor, the people have no objection to time served, and if there is any restitution that's being sought, we will provide that documentation to the court.
Thank you. Ms. Adamson, the court received paperwork that shows that you've been in custody since April of 2022. Is that correct?
Yes.
In this malicious destruction of property case, the court will impose 30 days, giving you credit for time served and consider the matter closed. Anything else, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Ms. Manarino?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Adamson, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Have a good day, ma'am.
Okay.
Ms. Manarino and Mr. Hadley, there are no other persons in the court's breakout sessions. There's only a handful of failures to appear that I'll place on the record. Other than that, unless you just want to hang out, you're free to go. You have a good day.
Good to see everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you, Judge. See you soon.
Bye, Angela and Jeff.
This is 23RP0393OB OT. This is City of Romulus versus Courtney Warren. The matter was scheduled for arraignment pre-trial at 9:40. It's now 11:06 by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, the matter will be set for show cause. These are our 23RP039738 B and C. These are City of Romulus versus Caleb Warren. They were scheduled for arraignment pre-trial and pre-hearing at 9:50. It's now 11:07 by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, the B file, which is the misdemeanor matter, will be set for show cause. The A and C file, which are the civil infractions, will be deemed in default. These are 23BL00351 A and B. These are City of Belleville versus Laura Chestnut. The matters were scheduled for pretrial at 10 a.m. It is now 11:08 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, the matters will be set for show cause. These are 23RP03980 A and B. These are our City of Romulus versus Nichelle Lang. The matters were scheduled at 10 a.m. It's now 11:10 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, the A file, misdemeanor file will be set for show cause. The B file will be, civil infraction file will be deemed in default. These are 22RP04382 A and B. These are both City of Romulus versus Ricky Eubanks. These matters were scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 10:10 a.m. It is now 11:11 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, these matters being in warrant status, they will be left in warrant status. This is 22BL005230M and 22BL00965 B and C. These are all City of Belleville versus Sean Norris. The matters were scheduled at 10:10 a.m. It's now 11:12 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, the matters will be set for show cause. This is 23BL005950T, City of Belleville versus Ryan Knight. The case was scheduled at 10 a.m. for arraignment. Pretrial is now 11:13 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. Case is in warrant status and will stay that way. This is 18R606645BOT. This is City of Romulus versus Jared Jackson. This case was scheduled at 9 a.m. It's now 11:15 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. And being in warrant status, the court will leave it the same. That concludes this matter. Thank you. That concludes this docket. Thank you.